Hey everyone, Egman here with another video. Today we've got two special guests. We've got Kenneth Whitebeen, and also we've got Joseph Blincoe, both placing in the team and single events at the DBS Montreal tournament this last weekend. How are you guys doing?
All right, fantastic. Thanks for pronouncing both of our names correctly.
Yes, yeah.
You're one of the few.
Don't. I have a crazy last name too, so don't even worry about it. We gotta stick together.
No, that's fantastic. I'm doing all right.
So, real quick, can you just say your name just so people know whose voice is which before we get started?
All right, so this is Joseph, the maiden.
This is Kenneth, the golden Frieza.
Cool. All right. Awesome. So we're both you guys, along with your teammate Eric Solito. You guys did the team event, correct?
Yep. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was so much fun.
Yeah. And you guys got first place, and so the story is that you guys were already qualified for nationals, and you just had the singles event you wanted to go to, so you decided just to make whatever deck you really wanted, right?
Yeah, we agreed that whenever we got our nationals invite, we decided that we'd go to Ottawa regionals and then Montreal regionals if those both happened, and then we would talk Ottawa, and then we'd fuck around in Montreal.
Yeah,
but we just got it happened earlier than expected. So.
Sure. And yeah, more power to you guys, really.
Yeah.
We had an evening to make decks. I was gonna play Xenomaidens, but gather all my stuff, and he was gonna play
Burst Janemba, but I couldn't gather all my stuff.
Burst Janemba.
Well, that's really cool, and you all have gotten a lot of attention because of that too, which is awesome, great, and I know that Eric's already been interviewed by Android, and I'll link that video there. He probably has. I watched it at least, and I saw that he talked about you guys a lot too, and about the team. So really cool that it all worked out for you guys.
Yeah, I'd check that one out too.
Yeah, so definitely I'll make sure that's in the link for this one as well. But yeah, let's start talking about your main deck. So what I know the story, but let's hear it from your mouth. What was the inspiration for this Ribrianne deck?
Well, I kind of put myself in the mindset of pretend TOP just came out, and I want to make a deck with everyone from Universe 2. It was an event at Locals where the TO was like, "Hey, come with Brianne Maidens," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'll make Brianne Maidens." It was I'll win a box or a pre-release or something, and I'm like, "I'll go with it." And then I didn't. I ended up going just with Shenron Maidens, and I was like, "Man, I feel bad."
Yeah.
Now I have to do Brianne Maidens somewhere else.
Yeah, you let the people down. You gotta give them what they want, right? So
we went out the night after the team event, and we were like, "Okay, what are we gonna do?" And so Eric was like, "I'm gonna play Chilled tomorrow, no matter what." And I'm like, "All right, well, if you're playing Chilled, I gotta play memes too. I can't not."
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's just I just threw together. I wanted all 10 fighters from the Universe 2 Tournament of Power. I wanted them all together in one deck, and it was 80-90% of the time, the moment I saw one of those cards, it just goes in the energy.
Sure.
I'm never ever gonna use this card, man.
Yeah.
So slam it down in the energy. Forget about it.
And there's just enough consistency with this deck that even though they're quote unquote do nothings, there's the searches with Zarbuto. You're never ever gonna miss with Zarbuto, which feels really good. And I think Gold Warrior only gets the 4 drops and above, right? The maiden squads, right?
She gets herself, Ribrianne, Cocoon, San Rosie.
Okay, yes. Nothing of the Universe 2 tag, just the maidens tag.
Yeah. Just Cocoon, San Rosie, and Ribrianne, the Kamikaze Fireballs.
The special trait has an squadron in it.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. That's correct. So, but still, I can see it just being. I don't know if it's ironic, but just really consistent that way. Just because you have one and a half big combos, right? Either you go with having all 3 big maidens on the field, or go into the 7 drop. Is that right?
Well, I tried to do both. It was a win on turn 5.
Okay.
Where one was do whatever you want, and then turn 2 you have to set up Brianne. Turn 3 you have to evolve, and then turn 4 I usually did nothing. And then I'll keep energy untapped for negates or preemptive strike, and then turn 5 I go tap 4 for transformation, swing with Ribrianne, and then I have the 1 free energy because it's turn 5 to go into the 7 drop big girl.
That's a really good point. And Normally when people play maidens, they really do prefer untapped leaders. And one of my first videos ever is just complaining about how like Brienne should have been an untapped leader, and for whatever reasons, a draw 2 leader.
I absolutely love how back in the day, do you remember when the first Majin Buu came out?
Yes.
And he was in Untap 2, and everyone was like, this guy does nothing, he's so garbage, all he does is Untap 2 energy.
Yeah.
And then like, the game started evolving, and everyone was Untap 2, and the game got faster, and people were like, what the fuck am I supposed to do with draw 2 leaders?
Exactly, 100%, because you feel like you have no defense or any counterplay. And I started playing this game right as set 3 was coming out, so I immediately tried these untapped 2 leaders, and they just felt really powerful to me. So, but yeah. Oh, keep going.
I mean, like if Brienne was an untapped 2, you'd be able to do like so much more.
Sure.
Turn 4, your kill turn for sure, because you can transform and then awaken and then go into the 7-drop.
If you could be imagined like as a burst 2 draw 1 leader and that untaps 2, I think that'd be like the best, because you could get your maiden squadrons into your drop area with burst a little bit easier, and just being able to extend your plays. But
the unfortunate thing is like she's not even attack leader draw a card. She's like attack leader. Maybe you can draw a card.
Yeah, is it top? So when she attacks, is it top 2 or top 3?
Top 2.
Yeah, top 2, and you look for specifically a maiden squadron, not even Universe 2 maiden squadron, right?
Yeah. So there's maximum 16 targets you can find, and you have to go top 2.
Yeah, that's on average. How much do you hit? You probably hit about 50.
I mean, I hit 3 out of 5, maybe 4 out of 5 a game.
Okay.
But except for when I need it, I played against. I mean, we'll get into the match later. But when I played Danny Hype, I think I hit 1 out of 9 searches in the set.
Oh, that's just awful.
It was disgusting, and he was playing like hand control Frieza. So like,
you need the cards in your hand just to even discard, right?
I don't get my draw. He's a Shenron leader, so he's a 15k. So my 10k swing does nothing, and I'm just discarding card, and it's
yeah. And you have no generic self-awakening in this deck. Like this is literally tournament power, and the newest card added was what the elegant assistant Helles, right?
Yeah, Zerloin lets you take a life, but you have to cast him for 4.
That's right.
And it's only when you play him. And you take.
Yes, I forgot about that. So let me just keep going with quickly just running over what the cards do in case people don't know, which is probably the case. So we talked about the front side of Brienne, but on the reverse side, it's if you have both Kakunsa and Rosie out, you can pop a card. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Don't worry. Like, except for my round 2 matchup, which was a friend that I play at locals, everyone grabbed my leader and started reading it.
Sure. And I have no doubt for that. And then going through the Universe 2 cards real quick. So there's Arbudo. He just looks the top 3 for a Universe 2 card, so really good for turn 1 play. We've got Attack Reflecting, Prum? Or is it Plum? Prum, okay. So he's just a big barrier dude, but if you get the 3-drop Hermilia, the sniper out, you get an activated once per turn, just popping something, right? Or is there a restriction to
5 or less?
5 or less, okay. So not too bad, but like it's a weird 2-card, 5 energy combo, so there's that. We've got Elegant Assistant Helles, who is a really good super combo. It's pretty much hoi hoi for Universe 2 or God leaders. You get to draw 2 and put 1 to the drop. But you're doing the 2-2 split because you need to have a Vakai in it, right?
Well, if Vakal isn't represented, then Kakunsa loses her love interest and she just doesn't perform as well.
100%, yeah. So you need to have the 2-2 split. And I mean, the meta reason's because you didn't want to just completely lose to the mill matchup, right? You wanted to get a little bit, less card draw for that, right?
No.
Come on, man. I'm giving you a line. Just
okay. I think maidens do well against Geneva. I actually played against them.
Yeah.
And it was a positive matchup in my favor.
Sure, because you get to set up, and that's the big thing Janemba doesn't like. Decks that are combos that can set up. So
there's even more than that, but you go over the rest of the cards. We'll talk about that.
Yes. We've got Rabranra. He's just a free blocker, so that's cool. As long as you have a Universe 2 card out and your leader's always Universe 7. There's Teleporting Jamies. Did you ever play him, or was he just still too expensive?
Sorry. Jamenzi is it's a reoccurring thing. A lot of people call him that from my Xeno Maidens days.
Yeah.
I played him once.
Okay.
Because I didn't have Ribrianne, or it was like turn 4 and I didn't have transformation, but a lot from Hermilla, Zerloin, Jamise were like I barely ever play the cards.
Sure, and it makes kind of sense in Xenomaiden because there's also no specific cost.
But Xenomaiden is fantastic.
Yes, exactly.
It's
but
well covered the deck.
Yeah, I could see him not doing too much for this build of it. And then I think so. We got Zerloin, and you kind of talked about. He's a big 20k double strike, and then when you play him, you can pop a life and blow up something. Is it 5 or less as well?
No, it's a KO.
Okay, KO back card. So those are the more unique Universe 2 cards, I'll say. And then the main chain is there's Girl Warrior Brienne. She's a 2-drop with Barrier, and she switches to the top 7 for any of the Maiden cards, which can evolve once again into Ribrianne for 3 energy, 2 of them being specific green. When she comes in, she pops something, and then also when you attack, if you have Maiden Squadron, Rosie, and Kakunsa out, you get to discard 2 cards from their hand.
Randomly, yes.
Randomly. That's the big thing. And this can also evolve into Transformation Complete, which is an EX evolve for 1 green. It has double strike. It switches it back to active mode if it was on top of the the Maiden Squadron leader Ribrianne, and also whenever it attacks, it also randomly hits 2 cards, right?
That's right.
All right, and then lastly, there's Kakunsa and Rosie. Kakunsa is a 20k crit that has dual attack if Rosie and Ribrianne are out, and then Rosie is just a 20k blocker who restands at the end of the turn if you have Kakunsa and Ribrianne out.
Yep, that's all right.
All right, and then so we've got, and I'm saying this because I'm looking at the DBS decks and it doesn't have like a little preview, so I feel like I'm doing pretty good. And then there's Maiden Transformation, which is a 4-drop extra card that pretty much gets Kakunsa and Rosie out for free. And so that's kind of how you're talking about like a turn 5 kill. It has a really good like chain of events you can do to get to your combo pieces.
Yeah, for sure. You can, if Janemba mills them, or you can combo with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then they're safe in your drop area because no one's playing like King Yema for Shengoji.
Yeah.
Ridiculous like that.
Definitely. So, and then the last kind of spice cards. So we've got 4 Maiden Charge, and Maiden Charge is kind of like speed surprise attack, but you don't get to choose which card they KO. Correct?
You don't get to choose, but it's any cost. So if Heightened Mastery swings at you and you negate it, they have to KO their Heightened Mastery.
Oh, okay. That's a really good trade-off. Okay, I like that. And then
even Victory Strike, you can't negate Victory Strike, but if he's the only guy on board and you use Charge,
yeah, that's crazy.
You gotta KO something. You gotta kill your Victory Strike.
Mm-hmm. That's what makes it worse too, because they have to choose it too. They have to this is your choice.
Please choose to kill your Victory Strike before you've got nothing.
Exactly. And then you've got a King Vegeta surprise attack and a Scientist Fu just for probably a little bit more. Scientist Fu just for card draw, and then Vegeta surprise attack is probably literally a surprise attack.
Yeah, you have free blockers, so
yeah, exactly. So
and Fu's for like if you don't have the 7-dropper Brienne.
Mm-hmm.
So you res your Kakunsa and Rosie, and then you can Fu for your 1 energy as well.
Mm-hmm. So
but you never play that card before, because you need Kakunsa and Rosie for transformation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So cool, very very cool. I'm guessing that you put Shocking Death Ball in if you didn't have to already put all these Universe 2 cards in.
There would be more than half the deck would be different if I wasn't following the theme.
Yes, exactly. But who knows if you would have gone top 16? So really good choice on your regards. So
thanks.
Quickly through the side deck, you just put a bunch of the 1-drop black cards. And
I put multiple cards in there, yeah.
Yeah, and then 3 Haru and a single preemptive strike. Did you ever side that in?
Yes.
Okay. Against what deck was it really prevalent again?
It was against Janemba because I forgot they had deflect. Back out.
I've done the exact same thing. It is like the worst. So let's quickly go through your matchup. So you went 3-1 in Swiss. Do you remember your rounds?
Yeah, of course. Round 1 was Brawly Lineage.
Okay.
I died to Heightened Mastery twice.
Okay. That's fair. You can't. There's no untapping in this deck, and I can see it being really tough for that regard.
Nah, man. I get my blockers out, he taps my blockers, and then he kills me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's 0 for that.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not happening. Round 2 was against Shenron Super Saiyan 4.
Okay.
Mono.
Like the red one, or like the
the secret art from set 2.
Okay. That's
You
cool.
just get him out and you give him triple attack, and then you discard your hand and you keep attacking with him. And you feed them a damage every single time.
Yeah, that seems really good. in theory, but how did it pan out?
Game 1, I had like 5 blockers on the board and still 8 life when he went for game, and he fizzled out. He had 3 cards in hand, and I had 1 life, and 2 of the cards were black, so he couldn't drop 2 more red cards to kill me. And that was super close.
Yeah.
And then 2, I took the initiative on turn 4. He didn't get it out. I swung with Ribrianne, and I discarded it.
Dang.
Since it's random, so...
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a really good point.
Super 4 out of his hand, and then he had no play.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, cool.
And that was that.
Game 3. Round 3.
Game 3, I was playing against a friend who was also playing Jank. He was playing Cell Leader.
Okay.
With like Chilai and
I've been seeing a lot of good stuff with that kind of thing, just because it's if Cell self-awakened, it'd be really good, but it kind of has to awaken itself sometimes.
So he was playing. He was with he had the Krillin and Goku.
Mm-hmm.
It's over, Frieza. Goku. That and those are just about like control, like destruction and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was grindy, but I think I preemptive struck Krillin at some point, and that was pretty good.
Yeah.
And
was that 2-0 or was it
No, it was 2-1. It was close.
2-1. Okay.
He won the first game, and then I controlled him the next 2 games.
Cool.
Then game 4 was against Janemba Mill.
Okay.
And I have like 2 versions of the story. So I'll do the first version of the story where I won game 1 with, I think I had like 3 cards left in deck or something. I had to push, and then he had no cards left, and Kakuza kept swinging crit, so he couldn't even get a blue card to use his leader negate. And
Yeah.
it just went down to like I ran him out of cards.
Yeah.
Then game 2, that's when I learned that preemptive strike is garbage.
Sure.
I also learned that the Janemba Mill player I was playing against he would like set up Childish Heart and then go to a Janemba and then swing leader and then pass, and then he would Psyche Demon, Childish Heart, and he would keep doing that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started leaving my energy open for Maiden Charge, so he would have to kill off his Janemba when he attacked, and he wouldn't get the mill too.
Oh, dang. That's really good.
So I started doing that, and he stopped attacking with his Janembas, and still managed to mill me out. Like, I got milled out game 2.
Oh, wow.
And then game 3, he played Scientist Fu, which, as you know, is not legal.
Yeah.
Shit. So that's how I made sub 16.
Did he side it in, or like?
Apparently he had one in the main, and like he was shuffling, and someone who was watching our game saw it, and he called the judge over, and the judge just came up, picked up his deck, started looking through it, threw the card down, said this is illegal, and gave me the match. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's really goofy. I wonder if he's been playing it like I don't know. I have a hard time thinking like people do it maliciously because it's so easy to catch, right? But
he apologized to me several times on Facebook later that night.
Yeah. Man, that's really funny. So,
but I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
I feel like this is like Universe 2 way.
Yes, exactly.
Just like don't do any fighting and wait and kind of like let other people do the fighting and then just kind of slip in.
Yeah, and that's kind of like Scientist Fu's thing too, right? Just kind of sneak in and try to cheat the rules. So yeah, well, very very cool. That's really funny. At first I'm like, okay, Scientist Fu, and like, oh, did he just put a lot of cards from his drop into his warp that he shouldn't have? And then like, oh yeah, 7's bigger than 4. So and then so you made top 16 because of that, and then did you go against Danny round 1?
Yeah, I went against Danny round 1.
That's rough.
It didn't bother me because I 2-0'd him in the teams event. So I was like, I got my nice win against Danny Hype. I'll just sit down, get utterly destroyed.
And was he playing the same Dende deck that he was in teams, or?
Yeah, okay. I think he made some modifications to it because there were. I think he only played 1 1-star ball in teams, and then he played 3 1-star balls in singles.
Sure.
So he must have thought that was a necessary change.
Yeah, it doesn't look like this event was like there wasn't a lot of aggro decks in this event. More mid-range and control-y, so I think that's a good call.
Yeah, no, it was a because then he like turn 1 he 1-star balls, and then turn 2 he double 1-star balls, and then revival of the Emperor, and then the Mecha Frieza looks at your hand, so you're dropping like 4 cards, and he picks a card, and then and then you got to deal with the Frieza, and he gets another one out, and then he like
it seems really fun and really oppressive at times too.
He dropped my hand by turn 3, summoned Shenron, gave Frieza's crit, and then I never got hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, yeah. So, no, we finished in like 10 minutes.
Dang. All right. Well, yeah, very cool. Thank you for talking about this. It was like the first thing I wanted to do when I saw the results. Like, I need to talk to this guy. So I'm really happy that it all worked out. So anything else about this deck or about the event you want to talk about before we switch over to Kenneth?
Yeah, I'll say one thing.
Okay.
Kids, don't try this at home.
Fair enough.
I'll pass you to Kenneth.
All right, cool. Well, I'll catch you on the when we're finishing up. But hey, how are you doing, Kenneth?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing very well. So you as part of team already got invited to nationals. You brought your Golden Frieza deck, and this is a I've seen like people bounce around with this dimension support with vanillas that and Frieza already wants vanillas. What was the big inspiration for you for this deck?
Well, I mean, like I made this deck like a couple months back actually, but it was just like I was kind of getting bored of the decks I was playing. So I was like, well, set 1 Frieza was my original leader, my first leader I played in this game. So I was like, I'm gonna just throw a bunch of fucking like cards that I think were good. Yeah,
and I think this game's really, really unique and fun in that way, where people who start playing the game, they have a leader they really like, right? And there's nothing stopping them from going back and trying the leader, a year later, see what's changed, see if they're still good and stuff like that.
Yeah, like because I saw dimension support and I was like, well, I remember that Frieza had a bunch of 2-drop yellow vanillas, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna just try with that to see if it works, and it worked out.
Yeah, definitely. I would say so. So let's quickly go through the deck. So this was a red-green version, and also super crazy. Like you ran no negates. Was that a conscious decision, or was like why no negates? I guess.
I just felt like it.
Okay, that's fine, good enough. Someone's got to be aggressive, and if you're aggressive, then you don't have time for them to attack you, right? So.
Yeah, I played a bunch of 0+5Ks too, just because of that.
Yeah, and I like just the idea of like literally no cards in your hand are dead. So and you're not a draw. You're a draw 2 leader as well. So it is a little bit harder to have the energy for negates at times. So I think it's not.
Kind of isn't because like, I mean technically you pop your guy during your turn. You pop like Sweet or something. You untap 1, you awaken, you draw 2, and then you pop another thing to untap 2 more energy.
Yeah, so you untap 3 energy, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, it seems really powerful, and I want to say, like, you definitely have the ball. I don't think I could ever run a deck without negates. Like, I'm always super scared of just like getting aggro down. So props to you for that one. But yeah, let's go into the deck. So for people who don't know what Frieza does, we kind of talked about it, but you pretty much choose one of your Frieza army cards, you send it to the drop, and then you get to draw a card and untap 1. It's a draw 2 leader, and on the Awakened side, it's the same thing, but you get to untap 2 energy, and also when you attack, you draw a card. So it's really flexible there, especially since... so the idea for your deck, just a big overview, is being able to summon a lot of these cheap Frieza armies, have them attack, and then when they're in rest mode, you can still ping them away, and you get advantage from them.
Yeah, and you do it for 1 energy, and there's like 15 crits because you summon them with dimension support.
And then you've got your hidden power, East Supreme Kai, and your Furthering Destruction Champa to give them double strike. And double strike crit just feels real good and or real bad if you're receiving it. So
especially when you do it like turn 1 or turn 2. Like,
oh yeah,
it's just
yeah. I completely agree with that because yeah, it's just your life is such a big resource. I do have to ask. So are you running 3 Champa and 1 East Supreme Kai because of card restraints, or is there a reason why you need East Supreme Kai to be the 4th one of them?
Nope, I just couldn't find another Champa.
That's completely fine. I just making sure that there wasn't like some secret reason, because they're more or less the same. There's just like that really like niche ruling difference between the two of them.
Yeah, the choose up to 1 with East Kai. Yeah.
So I think there's like two ways to look at it. Like either like having the choice is good because sometimes you only want to actually do one damage if they're sitting at like 3 and you want to do a single then a double strike. You don't want to have to do double strike twice. But the flip side is you can forget to do it and people can rule shark you.
Yep.
So
that was
anyways, let's go into, so it's green yellow. The green cards we've got Infernal Emperor Frieza, which is probably one of the best cards in this deck. It gets you get to summon it, you get to Self Awaken, which is great, and then you can ping it off. So you get 2 cards for free, pretty much, right?
Yeah. Then turn 1, if you go second, you like swing with your leader. You play him, take a life. You swing with the Frieza, you pop him, and then you newfound power go on for 15 credit.
Yeah.
And you get 3 swings.
Yeah, you get 3 cards for free for 1 energy and just a lot of pressure. So that seems really good. You've got 2 Sun Goten Family of Justice just for presumably blowing stuff up on your turn, correct?
Blowing up Borgos more specifically.
Oh yeah, I could see that being a really big issue with this deck. That's a really good point. And then you also have 3 Terror Scythe Goku Black, which will probably be used mostly with your Shugesh. Is that correct? Did you ever hardcast them?
Or just for energy. I think I hardcasted him once out of all my sets, but yeah, mostly just Shugesh into him.
Yeah, and that's like the OG like Shugesh target, like when Ginyu was running around like a year ago. So get that, and also I really like your addition of Surprise Attack Frieza. I think that makes a lot of sense in this deck.
Yeah, you like if you were able to get off, it was like 10 on leader. You pop the Borgos, and then you play Surprise Attack Frieza, swing 15 crit, then pop the Frieza right away.
Yeah, and then even additionally, you can give it. It has crit already, so you can just give it Chomp or a Supreme Kai and just get so much value and advantage on that.
Yeah.
And then into the yellow package, so for Avenging Frieza, he just looks at the top 3 for a Frieza's army. But once again, since he can theoretically draw a card, you can pretty much draw 2 for free, which is great.
Yep.
Sorbet is just a blocker, but also put something to rest. Have you? Was that pretty much all you used him for?
Sorbet was just energy. I just wanted him in the deck because like he was a part of Frieza's army, and I was like, "Here's a Frieza's army boy."
Yeah. Have you thought about the Frieza biding his time? The 1-drop Frieza that does something in rest. It doesn't. It ignores barrier as well.
I thought about that, but I was like, I was just gonna go play a completely aggro deck.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes really good sense. Next up, we've got let's see, a Pool and Sui. They're just vanillas, but they're really good with Dimension Support Trunks, and they also happen to have the Frieza army tag, so you can just ping them off whenever you want. We've got 2 Dodoria, just your super combo, but also has the Frieza's army tag for Avenging Frieza, or for whatever reason, if he's on your board and you need the extra energy, you can use Golden Frieza's effect, I guess. 2 Shigesh, which we talked about, just to get out a combination of either Terror Scythe. You also have Source of Power Son Goku here. Was he just for Self-Awakening, or what was his purpose for being added?
He was for Self-Awakening, and like even then, he won me most of my games. Source of Power was a big game win.
Okay, I could see that. I think that makes a lot of sense. There's also, there's a similar one, the Clash of Fates Green Goku. I think
Son Goku, the one that gets crit plus 15.
Yeah, there's that one. Any consideration of that one since you're running green, or does Source of Power just like immediately?
I think he's 2 green and Source of Power is only 1 yellow, so I prefer Source of Power.
That's a really good point. I can see that. So, and then lastly, to round it off, we've got 3 Destructive Occupation Frieza. Really good for, like, I'd say this is like potentially your only defensive card. Just being able to get a card out for free, and then also being able to. I mean, it's in a sense it can be a free 10k combo if you use it on your turn, because you can just ping it away immediately too. So.
That was the plan.
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
That was the plan. It was mostly for aggro.
Okay. And then lastly, we've got Frieza Striking Back. I don't actually remember what this card does. If something's KO'd, you get to play Ginyu for free. Is that correct? Or
if you KO a card with him himself, you get to play 3-drop vanilla Ginyu for free.
Okay. And what's the other auto? Is that relevant at all, or?
I think it's just rest a battle card.
Okay, so that, I mean, it sets up for being able to do that. Did you use was that Ginyu a really good source of pressure for this deck, or was he just kind of combo or energy and combo fodder?
He was energy and combo fodder, and he was also Frieza's army and Frieza boy.
That's really fair. But something that really, immediately, like, I'm like, okay, these big 30Ks, sure, they're big bodies, but in most card games, like, things with just massive attack power usually aren't that powerful. But in this game, it's kind of different, just because it's how they also survive. I can say, like, some of these 30K bodies can just be really sticky and be really big nuisances, which I wasn't really expecting at first.
Yeah, they're just like kind of a nuisance to deal with, unless you can pop them.
Yeah. So, and then, so that's the rest of the main board. In the sideboard, you've got 4 double impact Krillin, 3 combo killer Analyza, 3 minus Killy Zone, the only extra card you ran for this event, 2 Chronoa, and 3 of the Haru Harus.
Yeah.
What would you say was really important from the side deck?
Minus Killy Zone, double impact Krillin, and then Haru Haru were the 3 most important cards for sure. The side deck.
Yeah, I remember we were talking about this before we started recording. Like, just being able to go minus Killy Zone and then play Haru Haru for free, and then any other of those, just because it's a free crit, and on a deck that already runs around like having cheating out characters or cheating energy back and having crit and just denying your opponent resources, it seems really aggressive.
It was like super disgusting, because like it would be like minus Killy Zone, and then I'd still have 3 cards in my drop. And I tap 3 Haru. No, I Dimension Support first, and then I tap 3 Haru Haru on top all 4 energy, and then Haru Haru again, and then I'll play like a Newfound Power Gohan or something, and people will be like, oh Jesus, here's like 6 battle cards, I probably die this turn.
And most of them have crit, and like that just it's really huge. And and she actually untaps 4 energy, and she only costs 3, so you can always cheat 1 energy back too that way. So a lot of energy on tap, and I can see why this was really aggressive.
Yeah, there was so much energy on tap.
Yeah, and so on average, what turn would you say you finish games on? Where is it, like turn 3 or 4, or could it be even turn 2?
Turn 3.
Turn 3. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was assuming. It seems like you can put a lot of pressure turn 2 and kind of try to finish it out by turn 3. So very cool. Let's talk about your matchups. You also went 3-1. Is that correct?
Yeah, my first matchup was against Herdigar and Demirgar. It was Ryan Sever.
Yeah.
And it was 2-1 for him. I almost got him game 3.
Yeah.
Because he was surprised by the deck.
Because he's what?
He was very surprised by the deck.
Sure. I have no doubt. And did you? I'm guessing. What did you side anything into that matchup, or was it pretty much just what you had?
So double impact Krillin, just in case he played F or Goku. I didn't know if he did or didn't. So.
Okay. Yeah, that makes really big. That makes a lot of sense to me. So, and then round 2, who'd you face?
Round 2, I faced against Broly Maidens.
Okay.
Complete decimation, like no contest too. Easy slap.
Especially since like I can imagine like this deck really could be really good against Broly, just because he does half the job for you. Like, he wants to awaken, right? And then you put a lot of pressure after he awakens, and he can have a hard time dealing with that.
Like, Broly Maidens just has like nothing to do. They just do nothing all game. So it's just like, well, I mean, if they're just going to set up the 7-drop barrel, just swing face and win both games.
Yeah, exactly. Game 3.
Game 3 was against Broly Victory Strike, actually.
Okay. And the same kind of story, or?
Actually, it was a lot worse for him. Like, game 1, it was like he tapped 1 Bardock, took a life.
Oh.
No, but I went first, though. It was like I tapped 1, took a life with Infernal Frieza, passed. He Bardock, took a life, swung a leader, drew a card, took a life, and said pass. And I was like, all right, here we go. And then I killed him that following turn.
Oh, dang. On turn 2?
On turn 2, I just killed him. The first turn I was able to swing, I just destroyed his face.
Dang, that feels bad. I feel it for him. And you can't even use time magic for it, right? Like, because none of your cards are supposed to swing twice, right? It's just supposed
to. Except Source of Power. He did time magic my Source of Power.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have to take a life for it, and nothing really.
I played Nimbus in the side because I didn't see it game 1. And he I guess he didn't think my deck was like super aggro like that. So
yeah, and I'd say, how often did you get Chronoid, and did you think that people were siding into Chronoid turn 2 or game 2, or what are your thoughts of that?
Most of the time, I would use Dodorias. Like, game 1, I'd use Dodorias, and if I won game 1 with just Dodorias, most of the time they wouldn't think that I was playing Shugesh because I only used the Dodorias, even if I had the Shugesh land. And because of that, they didn't sign in Chronoa, and because I was super aggro, they wouldn't want to like turn 1 Chronoa or save it for like when I was awakened or anything. So like game 2, I just Shugesh into Source of Power, and they're like, oh fuck, you played Shugesh.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a really smart way to play it as well, just to not really show your hand at the beginning and not give your opponent all the information so they can't side into your deck. I mean, it's going to be hard to side into this deck anyways because no one's really expecting it, but just another layer of kind of deception there I think is really powerful.
Yeah. It won me most of my games too.
Yeah, I have no doubt. So round 4, who'd you face?
Round 4, it was against a very like weird deck. It was like a Jackie Chan.
Wait, you were saying that another deck is weird, really? Okay, keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a Jackie Chan who played like Shugesh, and he Shugesh Goku me like twice. And then I Chrono finally game 3.
Yeah, that's a really. I played that deck when it first came out in like September of last year at a regional. I thought it was going to be really good, but
it's kind of kaka-poo-poo.
Yeah.
It's kind of like very kaka-poo-poo.
Yeah.
You do like nothing most of the time.
Yeah, I could say like turn 1 and 2 you just kind of generate resources, and turn 3 you just kind of decide to take control. But that can be late into the. That can be too late.
That was late against Frieza.
Yeah.
It was too late. He did get a game off of me though.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, and I'd say like you were probably one of the rare aggro decks at this event. Most people I talked to said there was a lot of more control or mid-range decks. So
like, everybody was playing like control and stuff, but
yeah.
Yeah.
So very cool. And so you got 12th in standings after Swiss, and then how far? What was your first match in top 16?
My only match in top 16.
I mean, I wasn't gonna say it, but
like it was like against somebody from Kitchen Table Meta. They were playing like Rudiger and Red Blue. So, and since they were aggro and I was aggro, they just did it overall better than I did. So
okay.
Destroy. Easy clap 2-0. I finished before Joey finished.
Dang. And I mean, you were already saying like you played Nick Shepard's Rudiger, or yeah, not Nick's, Ryan Severin's Rudiger, and had some trouble with that round 1. So I could see why. Just like blue decks in general can just be so defensive, and I can see that being a big problem for this deck. So,
I mean, yeah, I still like he was still like I think 2 life left, but I didn't have enough cards in hand to kill him.
So,
but
well, very cool. Anything else? I'm happy you made it, and there wasn't any like Scientist Foos and Janimba decks stories. So.
Yeah, I made it kind of legitly. He did.
Yeah. I mean, you still placed higher than Joseph, right? So, I mean, you still got in Swiss, right? So,
yeah,
you earned it a little bit more. I'm just messing with you. But, yeah, is Joseph there with you right now?
Of course.
Okay.
Still...
Okay. I'm just making sure. I didn't know what was going on. So, but yeah, thank you both of you for letting me reach out to you guys and talk to you about your decks. I really like talking about this game and stuff with that. Any closing remarks, any shout outs or anything before we wrap this up?
Shout out to Eric for his crappy chill deck.
Yep, 100%.
Shout out to all the aspiring maiden players. Ribrianne is a lot better than all of you might think.
Shout out to Anders for knocking out the maidens.
Oof. Just give maidens a try. Green is not the best color in this game, please.
Yeah, I think that is a lot of decks. Like give a lot. Like they make these archetypes for a reason. Like give them a try. But maidens for sure. I've been on the bandwagon for a while. That they are not the worst. That's the tagline I'd use. So
one of the best decks from Tournament of Power.
Yes, I will 100% agree with that. That's very true. So
yeah.
All right. Well.
Here's a victory strike.
Yes,
that's really good.
That's probably the best, but like second best, Universe 2. That's why they're Universe 2, right? They're second best.
Sure.
So, anyways, thank you guys so much for talking to me. Thank you all who are still watching this, and I'll catch you next time.
Ciao.
Laters.